They attacked a central synagogue in New York, an anti-Semite. And why not? After all, that's all you hear all day, even from some MAGA people. Israel, 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 anti-hate. You guys are crazy. You sound like Germany in 1938. Hatred, hatred, Israel's to blame. Hatred, blame the Jews. Hitler did that. Blame the Jews, it's the Jews, blame the Jews. Hatred, 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 hatred. Racism, racism, racism. Identified group, kill them, kill them, kill them. Yes. You know, it's no wonder that Guy and I, Papa, has put an Israeli prophet of God with an American black prophet of God. The two most hated people in the world. Granted, all of the new progressive liberal white people who hate white men, and the hatred of particularly of white men, not so much white women, but white men, that's part of the nuance. And in many cases, some say it's part of the reaping what you sow. For all of the hatred now against our white brothers and white men in particular, that's a feminist progressive move to bring down society. You have to go after the men. And it started obviously with going after the black Jewish men. But they didn't stop there. Now they're cannibalizing themselves, going after their own white men and demonizing white men. But still, the disproportionate amount of hatred against men, it's against black men, number one, still. That has never changed. The highest rate of racism in America and really the world is still against blacks, not against Muslims, not against Muslim terrorists, against black African men. Interesting. And the second what group? Jews. But Jewish men. The blacks and the Jews. And the crimes against Jews in New York has spiked almost to 9%. Still not as high as crimes against black. We're talking about racial crimes, not about homicide. Still, black people in America kill more other black people than white people kill black people. We're not talking about homicide and murder. We're just talking about systemic racism, just prejudice. All of the FBI data indicates that the majority of all racial crimes are still disproportionately heavier weight on anybody black. And the second group, Jewish. Not Mexicans. Jewish. Black and Jews. And it's very sad that this has been a problem. And it's all over the world. It's just particularly magnified in our very propagandized media culture here in the U.S. And you can see how we're destroying ourselves. We should have learned to stop this racism after slavery. We should have learned to stop this anti-Semitism after Hitler, after Germany, after the Holocaust. We haven't learned our lesson. And not only have we continued this horrible, audacious aggressiveness of prejudice and discrimination against blacks and Jews and Christians. And Christians. Don't let me forget about that. More persecution against Christians than there is against Muslims. And so all of our white brothers who are experiencing this reverse paradigm, because it's not black people that started this march against white men. Did you not know that? White liberal women White, progressive, woke, liberal women, feminine women, lesbians. It wasn't the gay men that started that against the whites. More gay men voted for President Trump than they did the others. He had the largest percentage of gay men and black men voting for him. This comes straight from the feminist enclave. White lesbians, white progressive liberal women, and uneducated young folks who don't know anything about history and can be indoctrinated by this feminist cabal. And it's always been white females that have held the majority of this kind of racism against black men. And the women's suffrage movement, masking and hiding its real mission, dominating men, the patriarchy. It all started in the Garden of Eden, when women rebel against the order that Adonai has set and refuse to submit to their husbands, to God, as the men have refused to submit to God. Now they do not rule their wives, and the children continue to not submit, to rebel against their parents. It's a whole line of non-submissive people to the order established by God, the chain of command, the violation of God's order, the violation of God's natural law and authority. And that's what you're witnessing. And it's only devolving into an absolutely irreversible catastrophe. We have already passed the point of no return. God help us.